Hello and very good morning to all our viewers. This is Wion Wallet. I am Sumit Chaturvedi. Let's see what is making headlines in the world of business this morning. Electric car maker Tesla accused of unfair trade practices in the US. Tesla has denied the charges. Apple has set September 12 for its most significant new product announcement in years, including iPhone 8 and iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. India growth slips sparks concern. India's GDP growth in the first quarter of current fiscal year slips to 5.7%. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says he's concerned, says will work on policy to improve numbers. And Reserve Bank of India Governor Urjit Patel has reiterated his warnings about consequences of waiving farm loans for distressed farmers, saying it led to higher government spending and had an adverse impact on lenders. And the first news is again coming from the tech space, where ride-sharing giant Uber is facing probe from US investigators for possible violations of bribery laws. US Justice Department initiated an investigation into whether Uber broke American laws against bribing foreign officials to promote business interests. It is yet unclear whether investigators are focused on one country or multiple countries. US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act bars officials from paying to foreign governments to get or keep business, Uber had. So Uber is in the probe for justice for possible bribery law violations. Uber has been involved in a series of legal wrangles. That's what Justice Department has found. And staying with Uber Technologies CEO Dara Khosrowshahi has told employees the ride services company would change its culture and may go public in 18 to 36 months. While Dara, who led travel booking site Expedia for 12 years, made the remarks as he introduced himself to Uber's workforce on Wednesday during an all-staff meeting in San Francisco headquarters. His plans include rebuilding Uber's culture and growing market share, as well as possibly conducting an initial public offering in 18 to 36 months. It is common for venture capital-backed companies to signal an IPO at a time in the future. Dara said Uber needed to stabilize itself but also take what he called big shots. The appointment of Dara, who described himself as a fighter, comes as Uber is trying to recover from a series of crises that culminated in the ouster of former CEO Travis Kalanick in June. It is also a key step toward filling a gaping hole in its top management that at the moment has no chief financial officer, head of engineering or general counsel. In his first meeting with Uber employees, Dara emphasized recruiting new talent, particularly a chief financial officer as well as a chairman to help him run the board. So Uber's new CEO Dara has addressed employees, and he said the IPO of Uber will come in another 18 to 36 months. So clearly Uber is planning to go to markets to raise more money. New CEO told employees that Uber would change its culture. That's what the first word coming from Dara Khosrowshahi, who is an Iranian businessman, and he led travel booking site Expedia for 12 years. Thereafter, he has joined Uber. The CEO introduced himself to Uber's workforce for the first time ever. And CEO plans include rebuilding Uber's culture and growing market share. Dara said Uber needed to stabilize itself And the woes are there for Tesla this time, where US agency in charge of enforcing labor laws has filed a complaint against electric car maker Tesla, saying it found merit to workers' complaints about unfair trade practices and labor practices over there. Now, according to National Labor Relations Board complaint, Tesla violated workers' rights by requiring them to sign a confidential agreement that could bar them from talking about their working conditions and safety issues at the company's facility in Fremont, California. The agency also investigated charges by workers that Tesla intimidated and harassed them and violated workers' rights under federal labor laws. Tesla has denied the allegations. Complaints were filed by 3 employees and the United Auto Workers Union, which has encouraged Tesla employees to unionize. The workers said Tesla made them sign a document that they may face termination or criminal prosecution for speaking publicly or to the media. So complaint has been filed against Tesla over workers' right over there in the United States. US Labor Board has filed complaint against Tesla. An electric car maker Tesla has been accused of unfair labor practices over there in the US. Workers' rights violated after workers signed a confidentiality agreement. While those were the accusations that were levied on Tesla, this agreement could bar workers from talking about working conditions. The workers have been barred from discussing safety issues at the company's facility, and that is also one of the cases why US Labor Department is probing Tesla. The agency also investigated charges that Tesla intimidated workers and harassed them as well. Tesla, though, has denied all the allegations. The complaints were filed by 3 employees and United Auto Workers Union. And staying with tech space, Apple has set September 12 for its most significant new product announcement in years. The company plans to introduce 3 new iPhone models, a version of its Apple TV set-top box that can stream higher quality, and a new version of Apple Watch that can connect to LTE cellular data networks. The event will be the first at New Apple Park campus in California. It will take place in a theater named for company founder Steve Jobs. So Apple has released the launch date of much-awaited iPhones. The new iPhones will come on September 12 at a launch event that will happen in California. And Apple has planned to introduce 3 new iPhone models. The event will be first at the New Apple Park campus in California, Cupertino over there. The invitation to media reads, "Let's meet at our place." And that's what has given rise to speculation and almost confirmation that this time Apple is going to launch the iPhone on September 12. Apple has nearly 15% of smartphone market share in first quarter, but Samsung has beaten Apple in smartphone market so far. And let's stay over with US, where US government will now allow people barred from entering the country in President Trump's travel ban to reapply for visas. This following a legal settlement with campaigners. Under the terms of agreement, the government must contact all individuals who had been turned away as a result of President's first executive order that came into force on January 27 this year. They have been informed that they can seek re-entry, although reports suggest it does not guarantee applicants will receive new visas, nor does it award them compensation. The settlement brings an end to case where Darwish versus Trump, a nationwide class action suit filed by 2 Iraqi men detained at New York's JFK airport due to the ban. Trump's first order had closed the US borders to nations from 7 Muslim-majority countries and refugees, causing chaos at airports and triggering protests across major cities. And let's go over to India news, where Reserve Bank of India Central Bank's chief Urjit Patel has reiterated his warnings about consequences of waiving farm loans for distressed farmers over here, saying it led to higher government spending and had an adverse impact on lenders too. So a number of state governments in India, including Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, they have announced farm loan waivers worth billions of dollars this year as farmers in Asia's third largest economy continue to suffer from erratic monsoons and poor access to facilities such as crop insurance. Political analysts say the waivers are also a way to woo rural voters, a key constituency for political parties. But RBI Governor Patel, in a speech on agricultural debt released yesterday, repeatedly warned about consequences of such waivers, though acknowledging he was aware of acute distress that farmers faced. Patel said such waivers led to higher than budgeted revenue expenditure, given states use public funds to repay banks holding the farm loans, thus stretching fiscal deficits and steering money away from needed functions such as capital spending. He also warned banks are impacted as they must wait for governments to repay the farm loans, preventing the lenders from new lending in the interim period. So RBI chief there in India has warned against the farm loan waivers. The loan waiver will hurt overall economy, Urjit Patel has said. The farm loan waiver endangers a moral hazard, RBI chief said, addressing an agricultural conference, and farm loan waiver endangers a moral hazard, Urjit Patel has said. India faces rupees 3 lakh crore farm loan waivers, and that's a huge amount, and that can be huge liability on the books of India. That's what Urjit Patel has warned. India faces 3 lakh crore rupees of farm loans. Urjit Patel said farm loan waiver undermines fair credit culture, and that's what he's reiterated as he has raised these warnings earlier also. A number of Indian states, including Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, they have announced farm loan waivers. So clearly a warning coming from, we can say that the RBI's top boss over there, he has warned against giving very frequent loan waivers to farmers in India. And let's talk about Indian economy. Indian economy is clearly not on a very good growth path. It has slipped to 5.1%. And Finance Minister of India, Arun Jaitley, has said, acknowledging India's growth slowdown, that it's a matter of concern. He said that the fall in India's GDP growth in the first quarter of current fiscal is due to destocking seen ahead of GST. India's GDP growth slumped to a 3-year low of 5.7%, while manufacturing growth has gone down from 3.1 to 1.6%.
Certainly, it's a matter of concern that it's come down to 5.7%. And it's quite obvious that it therefore throws up a challenge for the economy, that in the coming quarters we really require to, both in terms of policy and investment, to work more to improve upon these figures. Our initial analysis is that this contradiction between services improving, investment slightly improving over the previous quarter, but manufacturing going down, essentially is the GST impact.
And commodities major Vedanta Resources is looking at acquiring stressed assets in Indian steel sector. We caught up with Anil Agarwal, Chairman Vedanta Resources, in this exclusive conversation. Let's hear him out.
Invite all over the world the oil company, the natural resource company, entrepreneur here to come and participate and be part of it. Also, the huge opportunity for the young entrepreneur to develop the SMEs. One is that looking high-tech, technology side, but we are people from bricks and mortar to produce 5 crore to 50 crore to 500 crore industry, whether it's aluminium, copper, zinc, automobile, anything taking that base is a great opportunity. So looking forward, more employment to be created in India. The world has eradicating their poverty. India there is a time today.
And so, about the pace of reforms, a lot of promises were made when the government came in. A lot of initiatives have been taken and steps have been taken also. How do you rate the government on the pace of reforms, and also what more reforms are needed, you think?
Yeah, fundamentally, they have an opportunity where people don't have to go to the government. Thing can be self-certification is a very good word, which Prime Minister Modi always used. He wants to cut down from 100 to 10 approval to 5 approval, so approval should go away, and that will bring a lot of comfort, and the government and the private people should work together, and that easiness is coming and should come more, and I'm looking forward, and I urge mainly to the top bureaucrat of the country, because country is in their hand, for them to be decisive, to take decision. We all have to work for the country to take it forward. Lot depend on them to remain very positive and to be very decisive to do the more decision if it is possible.
So last two quick questions. What are the plans of your own company, Vedanta? Has been, last time you told me $2 billion earlier, 2 years ago. What are the plans of Vedanta so far, and how do you see the global economy as far as commodities expansion is concerned?
India, if Vedanta run the full capacity of the plant, is 1% GDP of the country. We are the highest taxpayer. We paid $6 billion tax last year, and creating 80,000 people employment. Looking forward to invest. I'm very bullish to, by and large, to increase our capacity everywhere 50%, and that will require about $7 to $8 billion investment. I have already rolled out and going on a positive way to make that investment. Very excited. Decisively, I'm doing it. I'm talking to my board. We have enough cash generation, so we don't have to go to the market. So looking forward, if that comes, I feel that we'll be able to generate directly, indirectly, another 100,000 jobs, and which will create a phenomenal capacity and reduce importing from the country.
And reports say Indian government has deferred a decision on selling stake in state-run telecom firm Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, as falling profits and market share in booming handphone sector has dimmed the prospects of a successful sale over there. Officials said the government, which fully owns BSNL, should wait until the company returns to profit. India has deferred BSNL. The stake sale decision has been deferred. Reports said Reliance Jio's entry has shaken the Indian telecom market, and that is the reason why BSNL stake sale has been deferred. Falling profits have dimmed the prospects of a successful stake sale. That's why Indian government is deferring. Indian government fully owns BSNL currently, but it is in plans to sell the stake. BSNL has lost about $7 billion in the last 8 years as competition has hot up in the Indian market. BSNL is India's biggest loss-making government company after Air India, and like Air India, government is planning to sell stake in BSNL as well.